Hello, welcome back to Cinderella Math. Today I'll be showing how to find the equation of a line if we're given the slope of that line and 1 point that lies on it. I would classify this as an Algebra 1 topic, though I have seen it taught in pre-algebra. And then, of course, if you're older than Algebra 1, this would be a great review. So, yeah. I would just have some scratch paper. We may graph a few. If you want graphing paper, you're welcome. And then I will be checking with the Desmos online graphing calculator. I may not go to that for everyone, but if you want to have that up on your cell phone or your computer, feel free. You don't need that, but I'll be referring to it a little bit. Alrighty. All right, so let me remind you, there are several different ways to do the equation of a line or a linear equation, if you will. There is standard form, which we will not really be doing in this lesson. That is ax plus by equals c. There are some like caveats to that, but that one is not probably what we want to do for today. There's two more. My favorite is slope-intercept form. And this one's certainly the best if you're going to graph it, to put it in slope-intercept form. And that looks like this. Y equals mx plus b, and that is what I call Cinderella. So that's actually the namesake of this channel here, Cinderella Math. If you want to know more about that, I certainly have a video on why I call that Cinderella and my craziness there. But if you hear me say Cinderella, I mean slope-intercept form. We will be using that one today. And there is kind of a third one that comes up in today's lesson, and it is called point slope form. And it needs a point and it needs slope. So that's kind of actually perfect for today's lesson. And it looks like this. Y minus y little 1, that's a little subscript, equals m parenthesis x minus x little 1. Now, I know that one looks complicated, the green one, the point slope. It's just because it's a lot of letters. But once we know what goes into those spots, it's not as bad as it looks, I promise. So we won't really need standard today, but the two others I will pull out today. If you already have those formulas memorized, that's great. If not, if you're in high school math, probably get those memorized. Get those in the memory bank as soon as you can. It'll just make your life easier. You also should know the slope formula. I guess I'll tell you that real fast. We won't need that in this particular lesson, but it's kind of a cousin to this, the slope formula. If they give you 2 points, which I'm going to actually make a video right after this of how to get the equation of a line with 2 points, you need to find the slope by doing the second y minus the first y over the second x minus the first x. We won't need that for this one, but we will in the future. Alrighty. Here is example 1. We are given that the slope of a line is 7 and that it goes through the point 1, 2. We want the equation. Now, if you really wanted to and you had the graph paper, you could graph this. Don't write this down. You could go over 1 up to boop, and then you could go slope is 7 over 1, right? So you could go up 7, so rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1. Or you could go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1. And then you could figure out this y-intercept and all that stuff. But that's annoying. And what if it doesn't hit smack on? And I don't even have graph paper. So that is not the best way to do it. Could it be done? Yes, especially if you're precise with your graph paper. It's just not the best way. All right, I will show two different methods. This one will be using Cinderella, which is our slope-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. And then I will also do it with point slope form, which is that y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. I personally prefer the slope-intercept, but they both work just fine. All right, the slope is M. Think of it as mountain slope. Wherever you see slope, that is M. This is our X1, this is our Y1, or just X and Y on the left-hand side. So just plug in what we know. We know the Y is, I'm on the left in the red, the Y value is 2. The M, which is slope, is 7. The X value is 1. Put that in parentheses because otherwise if you don't, it looks like 71. It is not 71, it's 7 times 1. And we don't know the B value. Solve for B. So this is 2 equals 7 plus B minus 7, negative 5 equals B. So your final answer, here's our M at the top, here's our B. So going back into slope-intercept form, it would be Y equals MX plus B. But plus a negative just looks bad. This is not wrong, it just looks bad. From pre-algebra or even, 6th, 7th grade, middle school math, we know plus a negative is the same as subtracting. So the best answer is Y equals 7x subtract 5. Right? That's using the slope-intercept, aka Cinderella, finding the B and then making it pretty. Same question I will now do with point slope. So we keep the Y, and this 2 goes in for Y1. So the ones, the little 1, is our actual point. So it's going to be Y minus 2 equals M, so that's slope, so that's 7. X minus, and then the X value, 1. Now, some people would say just stop right there, that's answer. I don't like it right there. Um, Technically, that is right. So it depends on your teacher, your curriculum, and so forth. If they'll take that, fine. I personally don't like leaving it right there. I could not graph from that. Well, I guess I could, but I don't want to graph from that. I don't think it's easy to graph from that. But technically, if your curriculum or teacher says you can stop there, that's technically the answer in point slope form. However, this is what I suggest you do. You can still do that form, but then just go ahead, distribute. So this is now y minus 2 equals 7x minus 7, and then add 2 to get y equals 7x, negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5. Answer. So yes, it still gives you the same answer, so that's great. And then this one I can easily graph, right? So again, this dark blue right here might be answer. You might be able to stop right there. I just don't think that's the easiest version of what we could do. Okay? So potato, potato, you can kind of see which one works better for you. And then if you want to check these, this is where I'll go to Desmos. I won't do this for all of them, but I'm going to pop to Desmos here. We had the point 1, 2. So to graph a point, just do parentheses, put in your ordered pair. There he is. And there he is. And then let's type in what we got for the answer. Y equals 7x minus 5. It should hit that point. Boom. It does. We did it correct. If you want to check that other answer, it was y minus 2 equals 7, parenthesis, x minus 1. And yes, that's right too. So again, kind of a potato, potato. Ask your teacher or your curriculum or your answer key what they prefer. Okay? All right. I will not come to Desmos on all of them. I'll maybe do it on a couple. All right. That was example 1. Let me get back to a blank page here. Let's do a slope that is negative, just because some people get scared with negative slopes. Don't be scared. We got this. So example 2, they are telling us that our slope this time is negative 1, and it's going to hit through the point of 2, negative 4. So again, I'll do it the two ways. You don't need to do it twice. You can just pick the method you like better. So I'll do the y equals mx plus b, which is the slope intercept form. And I will do the y minus y1 equals mx minus x1, which is the point slope form. So I'll start on the left. And again, this one's my preferred, but you can do either. This is our x, this is our y. Slope is always m. So this would be -4 equals -1 parenthesis 2. Again, don't write it like that because it looks like -12 plus b. Solve for b. So this is -4 equals -2 plus b. Adding 2. -2 is b. So our final answer, y equals mx plus b. But again, that looks clunky. Plus a negative is better represented as just minus. Answer. We could ghost the 1. In algebra, a lot of times, if we can cut a corner, we will, because human nature is to be lazy. So you can also just say y equals -x minus 2. That's probably the best answer, but if you put the 1, it's fine. Okay, let's see if we get the match on the other side. So this is now our x1, this is now our y1. You keep the naked y, and we're going to keep the minus. y1 is -4. Our slope is -1. Keep the naked x, keep the minus, and our x1 is 2. Minus, minus, right here, oof. Again, back to your middle school math for your integers. Minus, minus turns to plus. Distribute. Oh, hold on. This might be the answer right here. If your textbook or whatever says this is the answer, you can stop. Again, I don't love that. So I keep going. So I'm going to distribute. And I'm going to subtract 4, giving me y equals -1x. 2 minus 4 is -2. Answer. Or again, you can cut off the 1 just to be a little lazy, and that's fine. That's what we prefer, actually. -x minus 2. Check. Boom. Boom. Potato, potato, they both work just fine. Okay, I will check this one on Desmos. And then this is probably the last time I'll show you on Desmos. It's pretty straightforward. Boop. Okay, we had the point to -4. There he is. And we had the answer of y equals -x. You can put the 1 or you can leave it off. Minus 2. Yep, it hits the point. We did that correctly. The other answer we had was y plus 4 equals -1 parenthesis x minus 2. Boom, same thing. We're correct. Awesome. Alrighty. Let's do an example where the slope is a fraction. So this is probably people's most scared one because it is normal to be scared of fractions, but don't be. We got this. Okay, we are going to have a slope on this one. This is example 3. Our slope is going to be 5/3, and it needs to go through the point 3, 5. Okay, again, 2 methods. You do not need to do it twice. Pick your favorite. This is slope intercept on the left. This is point slope on the right. Okay, I'm going to do the left first. Slope is always m. Our x value is 3. Our y value is 5, and we don't know the b. Solve. So I'm going to come to the side. This is 5/3 times 3, technically over 1. Cross cancel, and that's 5 over 1, better known as 5. If you're scared of fractions, do that in a fraction calculator if you're allowed to. If you are a Desmos calculator person, Desmos can take care of that for you. I'm going to subtract 5, and I'm going to get 0 is b. So this is y equals slope, so 5/3 x plus 0. Technically, that's the answer. But again, when we can be lazy, we will. So we will cut the 0 and just let it be assumed. So the best answer is y equals 5/3 x. That's it. Done. Okay, going over to the blue side with point slope. So you leave the y minus, the y value is 5, leave the equal, the slope is 5/3, leave the x, leave the minus, and the x value is 3. Again, that might be answer. That's not my preferred answer, but it might be answer in your book or with your teacher. I go ahead and distribute. So I get y minus 5 is 5/3 x, and then off to the side, that's 5/3 times -3/1, cancel. That would leave -5/1, which is just -5. I'm going to add 5. Y equals 5/3 x, cancels, done, answer. Again, feel free to use a fraction calculator if you are allowed to do so. Desmos will do fractions. Or you might have your handheld fraction calculator is fine too. They're not that bad. You can do it, but if you do find them scary and you're allowed to use a calculator, by all means. All right. Okay, I will do one more example, then I'm going to wrap up this video. Example 4, I'll do one more with a fraction. We're going to have a slope of 1/2, and it needs to go through the point 3, 1. Again, two ways. This is slope intercept, my preferred, and this is point slope. On the left first, this would be y is 1, our slope is 1/2, the x is 3, the b I don't know, solve. 1 equals, to the side, that's 1/2 times 3/1, which would be 3/2, or on your fraction calculator. Let's get a common denominator. This is 1 whole. Think of a pizza. That's 2 out of 2 slices that you just ate if you ate the whole thing. Okay, let's do that. Or use your fraction calculator. I'm going to minus 3/2. This is 2/2 minus 3/2. 2 minus 3 is -1/2. That's our b. Y equals mx plus b, but again, plus minus looks clunky. Let's change it to minus. Y equals 1/2 x minus 1/2. Those do not go together. So some people would say equals 0 because 1/2 minus 1/2. No, the 1 has an x with it. So this is good in the red box. And now to the point slope. Keep the y, keep the minus, the y value is 1. Keep the equal, the slope is 1/2. Keep the x, keep the minus, the x value is 3. That might be answer. If your directions say put it in point slope form, that is answer. So here's the advantage to that form right there, the blue. You don't have, if you're allowed to leave it right there, you don't have to do all that fraction work. But again, I don't love leaving it right there. So I'm going to distribute and get 1/2 x minus 3/2. I'm going to change this 1 into 2/2. That way everything has a common denominator. I'm going to add 2/2, giving me an answer of 1/2 x. -3 plus 2 would be -1/2. There. And again, same thing. I know the fractions are ugly. I know. It's okay. I'm not doing any graphing by hand in this video. I'm sure I have another video on that, or if not, I can make one. Here I was simply getting the equations. If you want to graph from here, you could. I think that's it. I think you are now equipped with a couple of methods to get the either slope intercept or the point slope form of a line, given 1 point on there and the slope. I did not do the standard form. Usually we won't need it. If you do, I'm sure I have another video on that, or again, I can make one. Just let me know. All right, I hope this was helpful and that you are having a wonderful day. Bye-bye.